So today we are going to start with a segment of the show that we really enjoy, which is Dear Love Talk, where people can send us our questions related to relationships, dating, marriage, because sometimes we talk about a lot of different topics in the show, but people have a specific question. So here in this segment is their chance to have their questions answered.
Yes, and right now we're going to go for the first question. Let's see it.
Hello, Luke and Rafaela. I have a question for you. I have a friend who's dating a guy and he's recently divorced, but he still keeps in touch with his ex-wife and the ex-wife's family. Now, I just wanted to know, is this right? Is this wrong? What should my friend do in this situation? Thank you.
Well,
Wrong.
That's a very good question, actually.
Yes, it is.
I think the first thing there in this situation is the fact that the person she's dating is recently divorced. It starts there. It can be a problem, so much so that it can be a problem that something has already started. That although he is divorced, he's moved on into a new relationship, he keeps in touch with the ex-wife and the ex-wife's family. I think it depends if he has a child with the ex-wife. I think it makes sense, it's understandable that he would be in touch with her. But other than that, I think that could be a problem in the future. This is a little glance, a little glimpse, because it's the start of their relationship. So it's a little glimpse of how things can be later on. So I think if she's okay with it, later down the line, let's say their relationship grows and maybe one day they get married. If she's okay with him doing that after they get married, which I doubt, then it's not a problem.
I think this is wrong in every sense of the word, because unless, as you said, there's a child involved, which the father will have to see the child, or the mother, it's one thing. But other than that, I don't see this relationship moving forward, because how can you be with someone who is stuck in the past, who is wanting to go back to the former partner or
because
spouse?
These are the questions that this raises. Why? Why does he feel the need to be in touch with his ex?
Yes.
Has he forgotten her? Has he really moved on?
So the mind of that person who he is with now, will be filled with questions, with doubts, and I don't think it can work. You can't be successful in a relationship with your mind filled with doubts. You have to be sure, certain that that person will be with you, no matter
100%.
what, 100%, no links attached to the past.
And one thing, I just want to emphasize what I said in the beginning, because sometimes, and we talk to people like that all the time in our seminars, sometimes people, they have been disappointed in one relationship, sometimes even marriage, and they haven't even recovered yet from that disappointment, from everything that went wrong in that relationship. And they think, I need a new relationship. That's what I need in order to forget the last one. So they are not ready yet for a new relationship, but they start one.
When indeed they have not forgotten at all.
They haven't,
if they had, they would have turned that page and moved on.
So it's very important that when you start a relationship with someone, to make sure that you, of course, and that person are actually ready. If he's actually ready for a new relationship, he has left everything in the past.
Okay. Good. Let's move to the next question right now. It's from an anonymous sender. I found out my partner is cheating on me and she doesn't know yet that I know. How do I confront her?
You want me to start that one?
Well,
I think the problem, okay, there is the cheating. There is the fact that he found out. She doesn't know yet. He thinks his problem is to confront her. But I think he might have a deeper problem there where, if you are with someone, I'm guessing you are invested in that someone, you invest your time, you invest your heart, your feelings, and you find out, for example, if I found out that you were cheating on me, I don't care if you know that I know or not. It wouldn't be a problem for me to confront you. This is me, my personal reaction, decision would be, I don't want you anymore. But the problem is the person doesn't know how to confront and doesn't know even what to do after finding out. I think it has a lot to do with the person doesn't know her value. So in this case, what seems to me is that this guy, he doesn't really know his value. So now that this has happened, he doesn't even know what to do, not even to confront the girlfriend. So it's a deeper problem.
In my personal point of view, I'm all for confrontation. Because
absolutely.
Not in a bad way, in a way in which you're going to get rude or violent or physical, but confronting. You have the right to confront because you are in a relationship with someone and you want to know why, what's happened, what's going on, why did you do that? And perhaps, you might find out something much deeper while you're talking. You're talking about that issue, about that person, which will help you make a decision. Is it worth it, carrying on with this relationship, or should I quit here right now? So yes, there is a need there for confrontation, in a good way, to get to know what is inside of that person also, to see whether, okay, there is a chance, I can give a chance, or this is it, enough, I'm moving on because, I think you disrespected me, I think you let me down, my expectations went down the drain, and forget it. So I think that in a good way, confrontation is good.
And necessary, I think.
And necessary, of course.
But my concern is, what is he doing meanwhile? So he found out, I don't know how long ago, right, that she's cheating. So what is he doing? Is the relationship carrying on as if nothing had happened? Has he distanced himself from her? So this is what I say. When you find out someone is cheating on you, I think the logical thing is to ask, to confront. Yeah. If you don't, then what are you doing in the meantime? Pretending that nothing has happened until you have the courage to.
And things tend to get worse.
Of course.
Because, thoughts come into your mind, you begin to imagine a lot of things, you begin to question, think, and, there's always someone who come along and say, hey, and then what happened? I heard this, I heard that, I saw this. So, it's better to do that so you cut the problem by its roots once and for all.
Definitely.
Right? Okay, so we have one more.
The last one? I think
question.
It's a video.
Yes, there's a video question, let's see.
Hi, Luke and Rafa. I've got a quick question for you. So I'm trying to move on from a bad relationship. It's been quite on and off, and I'm just not sure what's the best way to move forward. Any advice you can give me, I'd really appreciate. Thanks.
My first advice.
She sounds a little bit desperate.
Yeah, she sounds a little bit. My first advice: come to the Love Talk seminar on Thursdays, 8 p.m. Right? So you can get some guidance. But it's a bit difficult. It's a bit difficult when you go from one relationship to another. You always wonder what next, what to expect in the next relationship, and you go into that relationship with lots of questions in your mind. I believe that what you need to do is, before you move into the next, and before doing that constantly, is that you analyze better, is that you make sure that you first have learned certain lessons from previous relationships. What didn't go right? What should I do better this time? What should I do different this time? My approach, the way I dealt with the whole situation. Because, past relationships also teaches a lot of things. So it's an experience we go through. So I would say that you need now to relax, right? It doesn't not sound so desperate, because it's not that there's nothing wrong in being alone for a while. So that perhaps you can take this moment to do a intro. How do you call it? Introspective.
Yeah.
Yes, introspective, and see what you can do better next time.
Yeah, I think I'd say you need to give yourself time. This is where many people get it wrong, usually, when they move on from one relationship to the next. They don't give themselves time. There were things that happened in the previous relationship that was wrong, that the person did wrong, you did wrong, but you don't give yourself time to learn those things. So what happens usually is you move on to a new relationship, hoping that now is going to work. But because you never learned from the previous, you were bound to make the same mistakes again.
And one more thing, it's not only about the next person in which you're going to be in a relationship with, it's also about you. So it might be the case where you're expecting so much from others, but you're forgetting about yourself, self-value, or I don't know, learning certain things that you haven't learned yet, applying certain changes to the way you behave, the way you act. So it's not only about who is next or how the next person will be or who will that person be or how will that person treat me, but it's also about you, yourself, you know, working on yourself so you can be better equipped for the next relationship.
And also I think it's that most people, though I'm sure there's people who do that, most people are not after having many relationships. I just want to have many. I guess some people do, but most people, they are looking for a relationship that is actually going to work. And they never get to because of this. They never learn from the previous one.
Exactly.
So if you have any questions, you can email us on questions@lovetalkshow.tv. You can, now we have a new thing, a video question.
Video question.
You can send it to us via Twitter or via Facebook, Instagram.
With the hashtag always.
Love Talk Questions.
Talk question.
And then we will get your question there and answer here on the show.